Is this what you want with Matt and Julia? Is this what you want with Matt and Julia? Is this what you
Shut up, I'm already recording.
with Matt and Julia?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Is This What You Want? It is the morning. It is 7:46 a.m. on November 18th. The sun is shining. It's a bit cool, so we turned on the heat. I'm Matt O'Brien. Across from me, as always, is my morning partner, my evening, my afternoon, my sun, my moon.
Julia Latkowitz.
Julia Latkowitz.
This is what I sound like in the morning. Before I've had my morning coffee and my shit and my, I don't know. Hi,
Don't
everybody.
talk to me until I've had my shit.
It's me, Julia. I know you guys were scared there for a second, but I sound like this.
Yeah.
I do sound a bit, my voice is a bit deeper.
Mine as well. Yeah, it is the morning time because we'll explain later. We didn't have time to record the podcast on time, so we're like, let's wake up and record it immediately in the morning and see how that feels.
Yeah.
And it feels fine so far. I haven't had a sip of coffee. You're witnessing live on air my first
Wow.
sip of coffee. Here
He's
it comes.
bringing it to his lips. He's slurping it. It got in his upper mustache. As opposed to your lower mustache.
Yeah, I got a lower one sometimes.
Is that? Oh my God, that should be a thing and this could only work for men who grow facial hair like directly out of their bottom lip.
Yeah.
But if they had an upper mustache, but then they carved the same shape,
It's happened.
but just lower.
Our friend John O'Zalay has done that.
An upper and a lower, so it's just basically
Yeah.
like
It's
a circle.
circle around your mouth. It looks like he's been eating a bowl of sticky toffee hair with no hands.
Ew, that's so gross.
Yeah, it's quite something.
How was that first sip of coffee, man?
It was great. It did get the mustache. The thing with coffee is it gets in the old mustache. It makes the mustache smell like coffee for the rest of the day.
See,
unless
this
it's
is a
rinsed
problem.
out.
Sometimes when we kiss, I go stinky
It's the
because it's like
mustache.
all the flavors. I think you just have to daily, like the same way you brush your teeth.
Oh, I do. I rinse it. That's the thing. What am I gonna do? Shit. There needs to be a pocket-sized, like disinfectant comb.
Or like a dry shampoo for a mustache.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Ew, that'd be disgusting.
Just something to go, and then you comb it in, and then you get the stink out.
A Febreze for stash.
That's the catch-22 with this mustache: is you hate when it's gone, but you also don't really like it when it's here.
There's a lot about you that I dislike.
That's the morning time.
Here's the thing. If your mustache could be a little bit softer,
Yeah,
smell a little bit better,
sure.
and if you could never grow stubble, because I like it when the rest of your face is clean.
Yeah.
And it's not that I dislike the look. It's just it is a painful face. You have a painful face.
I do have a painful face. I have intense eyes and a sharp nose and then sharp stubble.
hair.
Yes. It's my head is trying to protect my
Do you
brain.
say I have painful eyes?
I don't think so. I don't think I said that. Maybe no.
Intense eyes. Okay.
I think I had said intense. I have painful eyes. I remember when I was growing up in my early 20s, my friend Jess, her mom, looked at me and goes, "Oh, you have such soulful eyes. Soulful."
You do have soulful eyes.
What does that mean exactly?
I mean, they're fucking big and full of fucking
Full of soul? Like you can see my whole innards?
You just got these like big bulging eyes and these little like curly doughy eyelashes.
Wouldn't it be wild if you really looked in someone's eyes hard and you could see like their memories?
Oh.
You're like, what's going on in there? And you just see like them running through a sprinkler as a kid, and you're like, ugh, weird.
I mean, that's literally the most wholesome memory you can think of.
Yeah. I think we all have that memory for the most part. I think most kids in North America have a memory of running through a sprinkler once.
Yeah, because it was fucking hot as shit, at least where we grew up in Ontario during the summer, and
Yeah.
we didn't have pools. I mean, at least I didn't. So it's like, get out the hose.
Which is like literally like, I mean, the parents could either hose you down with the hose, but that looks too aggressive. So
Yeah.
like the sprinkler is like, it's kind of like a babysitter. It's a water babysitter.
Yeah.
It's a wet babysitter.
It's a wet babysitter.
Go on the wet babysitter. Let her spit all over you.
That and skipping. Ooh, skipping hopscotch.
Yeah, I never got into that.
I could do like double Dutch.
What was that one that you looped around your ankle and then it was a skip it? A skip it.
Oh, I love to skip it. But then when
Yeah.
it would whack you in the ankle, god damn.
That was some sort of Chinese torture.
It was a lot. Also, the fact that we played Red Rover, which was my favorite like schoolyard or playground game, it finally they outlawed it because they're like, kids were like breaking their arms.
Yeah, they're like dislocating their arms and ankles, and because you're blasting through your friends.
Yeah.
That was the teachers at school were like, line up, and then your friends are gonna blast through you. I'm like, what does this teach exactly?
Yeah.
No, never give up and never let anyone penetrate your fortress.
I would always like, I'm gonna penetrate this fucking fortress. I'm not gonna lose. I will not show defeat.
Well, you were that crazy kid. There was always the one crazy kid that would like torpedo his fucking full head into the arms of people.
I mean, I don't think I would still play by the rules, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
There's always the big fat kid too that you're like,
oh no,
we call Randall over. Oh no,
Randall's always the last one. So
yeah, and then he just destroys the entire human
dominates.
race.
I swear some people would cheat though, where they'd be like, because they wanted to be on the team with more people, and they're like, I just want to get this over with. So they're like, oh no, I can't break through this.
Oh, I remember those
fortress.
kids, the goth kids on the end.
Yeah,
they'd be like, ugh, I'm out.
but it'll always be so scary when you're like, oh no, like I know that I'm the weak link in this chain, and they're gonna come for me.
Yeah. That's right.
Oh God, Red Rover.
I think we're pretty close to a televised game show version of Red Rover.
Oh man, sure.
Because there's I think there's like a floor is made of lava. There's like a lot of dumb kid things that are now like game shows. They're really grasping.
There's gonna be capture the flag and tag. I mean, there was
tag
a whole.
has already been a thing.
Tag was a fucking full movie.
That's right. You watched it, didn't you? Watch it on a plane?
I think I watched it on a plane.
That's a plane movie.
Let's first of all, happy morning chappy hour, everybody.
Happy morning chappy hour, everybody. This is the happy hour as dedicated to the worst robot movie of all time, Chappie, and we are now drinking coffee to it. Do you think Chappie himself slept when he charged?
I don't know. Does AI sleep?
No, it doesn't need to. That's the thing. But it does need, if it's like portable, it does need to charge. That's the scariest part about AI is like it doesn't need to sleep. So while we need to sleep, it's like I'm going to keep working and trying to figure out how to destroy all of you.
Yeah, no, AI's bad.
Yeah, except Chappie, he was trying to be good.
But eventually, try as he might, he would end up being bad. Everybody who tries to be good and who seeks power will end up being bad. Here's a high thought I had last night.
Oh my God.
And then we'll get into what we're chapping.
Yeah.
Listen, it's coffee. I was gonna look at the beans, and I could pause it, and I could find
hear
it.
about the beans.
I mean, it's a nice bag of beans. There's like a forest motif on them. They're whole beans. We got them at Costco. We grind them every morning.
We do grind them every morning. What was the thought process behind that? First of all, because I never was a grinder in the morning. Is it just more fresh? They last longer in the bag.
It's more fresh.
Yeah.
Because once coffee is ground, technically it's supposed to be good for like 2 weeks. It's not going to kill you after that, but it loses freshness.
Sure.
So, and then I got a grinder, and for a while I'm like, ugh, this is too much work. And I'm like, it's really not. And
it's
it just makes
extra. And it makes a
a
difference.
world of difference. And then we put it in literally the shittiest Mr. Coffee maker. But you know what? I like it.
We should get a nice one. I wonder if it would make everything taste different.
I don't fucking know. Unless we got like a really crazy nice one. But like a drip machine is a drip machine.
Like a President Coffee. Does the coffee, the Mr. Coffees go to different levels, or is it just Mr. Coffee? There's no
different
Dr. Coffee?
It's all Mr. Coffee, but there's different layers of Mr. Coffee. And this one was certainly the cheapest one. And then we put a splash of oat milk in there, and it's divine. But let me get back to this.
Yeah. I think the Dr. Coffee it brews blood.
Dr. Coffee brews blood and malpractice.
and tests your urine.
Okay, so everybody who tries to be good on I'm talking about like a grand level ends up being bad in the end. We see it all the time where it's like, oh my God, there's these horrible people in government and these vigilante people. They're going to try to overthrow it. And oh, we love him because he's the Robin Hood. He's going to save us. But then that person gets too much power, and then power corrupts, as we know.
Yes.
So when I was high last night, I'm like, okay, I don't know. There should be a way that you either get to have a bunch of power and less money, or a bunch of money and less power. And if you have a certain amount of money, it should take you out of the race for the super powerful positions.
Yes.
Because money is power. We all know that. And that's what corrupts. So listen, in my brain, I was like, I'm fucking cracking the code. And obviously there's no way to enforce this, but it's just, with this whole Twitter thing. It's like it's just so
Yeah.
fucking stupid and crazy. And
Well, what's that old Batman quote? It's I don't know if it's from Batman exactly, but it's you either die the hero or live long enough to become the villain.
exactly.
And that's what's happening to these people.
Well, and I was even thinking about like someone like Dr. Oz. I remember a million years ago, like after school or whatever, Dr. Oz would be on, and I'd watch it, and I'm like, all right, I'm learning some tips.
Because he was non-threatening.
He was
He's not
non-threatening.
going to be more powerful
He's-
than this.
And then like I was like, oh yeah, there's some good tips or whatever. And then as it went on, I was like, huh, you're clearly being swayed by whatever. I just remember one episode. He's like, all right, we're talking about sun protection here. We got to protect yourself from the sun. So what? So what? So that's not a bad Dr. Oz.
Hey, I'm Dr. Oz.
But that's what he talks like. Listen, so what you got to do?
He's always a bit out of breath.
What I suggest is you wear makeup. And then he's like, there's lots of makeup brands like this L'Oreal that has SPF 15 built right into it. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, he
okay,
loves it.
come on.
Also, funny that he's talking about sun protection and he looks like a vampire. He looks like Dracula.
He's the world's ugliest man, and he looks like he's leftover fucking pieces of leather from the leather factory just cobbled together.
Yes.
Anyway, but then he goes and he fucking runs for a government position. I forget what he was running for.
Senator?
Governor?
I think? Governor? Some sort of higher up. I don't understand.
Running for
government
something.
tenure.
It's like, what are you doing, Dr. Oz? And now you're just this. And even Oprah's like, I don't know that guy.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't like him.
so it's like you had such a nice thing going. Why do you always fucking? Everybody needs more.
more. Yeah, they're
Yes,
too hungry.
Strive to be better, and yeah, have a hunger, achieve your fucking goals, but then like figure yourself out, man. Take a good hard look in the mirror. But that's the thing. Nobody likes to think they're bad, and in his mind, he's like, this is good.
Yeah.
And there's people that agree with him. So
He's like, that's when you get that amount of power and money, you're also like, I could use this to change the world. But then people are like, yeah, let's do that. And then you start expressing how you would change the world.
and they're like, in my
"Oh,
world,
no.
everything's bad, and they're like, no.
Everything's on fire and it's bad and there's spikes everywhere. I don't know, Dr. Oz.
See, it would make the world better for his people.
Yes. But that's the thing. It's
And by his people, I mean like rich.
other
white-
vampires.
yeah, other vampires.
other ghouls and other vampires. I also realized I haven't blown my nose yet. That's
You
how
ha-
quickly we got into this.
Wow. I haven't even, listen, I'm podcasting before my morning movement.
Me too. Oh my God. Which is
This is
crazy.
crazy.
It's like any morning I'm at the age where I'm like, I have to blow my nose. My day has not started. Because it's like, I don't even really feel like I have to right now, but I just like, I should. It's just something. And then also, I have to empty all my holes. My
Yeah.
holes are full right now.
Empty all my holes. I squeeze my eyes.
That'd
I
be kinda
squeeze my
nice.
eyes. I Q-tip my ears. I empty my P and B.
Yeah.
And
It's crazy that I got all the dog. The dog is more set up than we are right now.
oh yeah, the dog has had a nice piss and shit. We've wiped her ass, as we do sometimes.
Yeah,
just
gave
to-
her a nice wiping, gave her a nice breakfast, and then we were like, okay, I guess we
we
can
put her
figure ourselves
jammies
out.
on. Ugh, God
Living
damn
a
it.
life.
Such a life. Well, okay, so just a little recap. We were in Toronto last week,
Yes, we were.
and we ended up going to Port Sydney, which is kind of like Huntsville near Muskoka, like 2 hours north of Toronto.
Up in the woods is what I'm telling people.
Up in the woods for a 2-day wedding. So that's why we were back. Our dear friends, Rob Bebenek and Ashley Cooper, finally got married after a wedding that was supposed to happen 3 years ago. So that's why we were in Toronto. And goddamn, what a fucking trip.
What a whirlwind! It's you get that many comedians in one place in the middle of the woods, and it's gonna get pretty crazy, and it did.
It's so funny to me because they rented out this whole resort, which is called the Trillium Resort, and it's right on the lake, and it's beautiful. So there's like just a ton of solo cabins, a ton of shared cabins, and Ashley, the bride, only allowed her friends to stay there. She said
Yeah.
no family
It was a
because she knows how
compound.
fucked up her friends are gonna get at night,
Yeah.
and I can't imagine her like Aunt Jolene and Uncle Tim staying there and being like, "Dear God, what have I done?"
Because there was a pre-party before the day before the wedding that was like a 70s theme party, and that was like one of the bigger parties I've been to in a long time. There was like people did not sleep; they were up all night. It was insane.
It was absolutely wild. There was a sauna. People had to be dragged out of the sauna naked at 6 a.m. Like Matt and I that night. I mean, we considering we started drinking at like noon or like 1, we went to bed at like 1 a.m.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
because we're like, the wedding's the next day. We don't want to fucking blow our load on the first night.
But whereas the groom and the bride were up and just going crazy.
Some people can just do that.
Some people can just do it. And then they were fine the next day. And then the wedding was also beautiful and lovely. But
Also,
then-
I just want to quickly say in the morning, talk about getting up and doing something like we're doing this podcast.
Yeah.
We got up in the morning, we had our breakfast, which was so nice. Also, it felt like camp. It felt like a weird comedian camp.
it was, yeah.
And then the groom was like, who wants to go in the fucking lake? And I was like, all right.
That sounds like him.
So then we all went in for like a little polar bear dip, basically. And then sprinted to the hot tub, which I want to say, I want to say it was like 2 football fields away. It was far.
It was like 200 feet away. It was, yeah.
At least.
At least. It was like, I got in the water for a second. My whole body stung. And I just could not feel anything. And then we sprinted across gravel. I'm like, I can't feel my feet.
I
can't
could not
anything.
feel my feet.
And we got in this stinky old hot tub and then sat there. And then we went to a stinky old sauna and sat
Yeah.
there. And I felt amazing after that.
And
That's
you
the
feel
thing.
amazing. Then we had a nap, and I was like, you know what? I am set up for this wedding.
Yeah.
And then the wedding happened.
Did it all over again. And it got pretty nuts. Someone fell on a guy and broke his ankle. And there was 2 people in gorilla masks dancing.
Yeah.
And
We were all wearing mustaches
We were all
at
wearing
the end.
mustaches. Some guy thought mine was fake, and he tried to rip it off, and that was annoying.
Oh, yeah. People kept coming up to you and licking their fingers, and then
One guy did that. That
running.
was the guy that
That's
broke
the guy
his
who got his ankle broke.
Yeah,
That's
he
karma,
licked
man.
both of his fingers, and he went that like where he spread. He's like, "Oh man, I was trying to style that thing. I didn't realize it was real." I was like, "Now you just spit all over my face."
But either way, quit licking your fingers and styling anybody's mustache, fake or
Yeah,
otherwise.
I looked at him and I went, "Man, I'm gonna break your ankle."
I think you're like, somebody broke his ankles.
Yeah, I
You're
just
fucking
didn't wanna
Tanya
say
Harding
who.
this man.
I didn't want to out who did it.
And
but
the funniest part, because they're like, we had to be out of the main cabin area where the dancing was happening by 12:30, and then they had a bus that took all the family to a different hotel, and then we just partied around this bonfire, but like the bartender became the bonfire attendant, and
Yeah.
he just partied with us.
it was really weird because he's like, "You got to get out of here, guys. I'm closing things up," and then he closed things up, and he's like, "Does anyone want a beer? Like outside?"
Yeah.
Like I'm like, "Oh, you're just doing your outside version."
I think
of your
I bummed
inside
a
thing.
cigarette off him. Also, like at one point, I was really fading. I'm like, I'm so tired. I'm like, do you have any like Red Bull back there? And he's like, no, but I brought a rock star from home. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. He's like, I have
Gross.
2 different flavors. And I was like, okay, fine. And one of them was like cucumber mint or something. I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. I'm pretty sure this is something he brewed and canned himself and put in a fucking Rockstar container.
Yeah.
Because it tasted like actual paint thinner.
It probably was paint.
Because Dylan had some with me. Dylan got it, and we're like, cheers. And we're drinking it. And we go, no. And he's like,
they
don't
all-
drink that.
Because they all taste bad, those energy drinks.
I know, but this was like, oh, this is actual poison.
No, you should never accept an energy drink from a bartender's car. I think that's number 1 rule
Yeah.
of being in the woods.
And then you went to bed at like 3:30, and I honestly don't know what time I went to bed.
I don't know either. You scuttled in. You scuttled and flopped. I heard you come in. It was a shuffle and then a removal of some clothing and then kafuff. And it was just like a bag of old fucking beans falling on the bed. There was a moment right before I went to bed because we were all standing around listening to music, and Rob put on that Fugees song,
Oh
Killing
my
Them
God.
Softly. And that one part of the song where it's like sha la 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 whoa, and they're like, it was this big fire, and like everyone was singing at the top of their lungs, and there was a full moon above us,
And we
I'm
were
like,
harmonizing during the la.
yeah, it was crazy.
It was so powerful. Also, everybody's on drugs. So
Yeah,
it just
everyone was on
really-
drugs and messed up.
Oh man, it was so fun. But the next day I woke up and I was like, whoa, I feel crazy. But I felt like, all right. I'm like, yeah, because I went to bed probably at 7 and I woke up at 9 and I'm fucked.
Yeah. I felt
And-
great because our friend Andrew Johnson gave us these. This is not an ad for these things, but it kind of is. They're called Z-Biotics. And they're these little tinctures.
Mm-hmm.
And they say take right as you start drinking. So we did.
I'm going to
And
write down Z-Biotics so we can fucking contact them and be like, hello, sponsor us.
Give
We
me
drink
some.
all the time on our stupid little podcast.
I
except
don't
for
really
right now.
know what was in it, but it's like drink or take
It's
it
a
before.
prebiotic.
It's a prebiotic, and it's like you won't have a hangover kind of thing. And I've seen a few of these. I've never really taken one, and it tasted like perfume. So I'm like, that tastes like it.
You thought it tasted worse. I thought it tasted kind of nice.
It tasted like a potion, like when you see a potion in like a cartoon. You're
It
like,
tasted healthy though. You know, it didn't,
little
and it
bit.
didn't taste fake, which I liked.
Yeah, but I felt perfectly fine the next day. And you know me, I have not been drinking for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this wedding, I'm really gonna let loose. And I didn't go too crazy, but like honestly, like 6 beers in, I'm like, I don't feel this at all.
Well, that's the so I also took the Z-Biotic, and I was drinking, and I'm like, I don't feel that like buzzed.
Yeah.
But this is the issue. I did many more things than you, and then when I was on these things, I kept drinking into the night.
How vague. Tell the people, what were these things, Julia? Don't say it.
I'm not. Listen, well, now it sounds like I did fucking heroin, and no, I didn't.
Julia did heroin, and she was drinking while she was doing it, which is a big no-no.
Yeah, I was drinking on heroin.
How dare you?
But yeah, it was a crazy time, and let's this is a nice time to sort of meander into our first segment, warm and fuzzy.
Oh. Okay, do you want to lead with the fuzz?
I will lead with warm and
parade?
fuzzy. So when we leave the cabin, this is the 13th, by the way. This is the Sunday. And we were originally going to stay at our friend Laura's, who we were staying with, who's so lovely. Laura and Kevin, just sweet people. But I was like, the next day was my birthday, the 14th. I'm like, I don't want to wake up on my 35th birthday on a fucking pull-out couch, you know?
Yeah.
And also, I was so fucked up after that weekend. I'm like, I just need space. So we like got a hotel downtown. We got upgraded, which was super nice.
That's
we
right.
just like ordered Indian food and watched The Simpsons, and it was fucking perfect. And so my warm and fuzzy is the next day waking up in that beautiful hotel
Yeah.
and just having the most lovely birthday.
It was a perfect birthday, and it wasn't even mine.
It was so nice, especially because I was like, oh, I feel like always, like last year on my actual birthday, I went to a fucking baby shower.
Yeah.
And the year before, or actually the year before, it was amazing, but it was also during COVID. Like, and the year, like, it just, oh, actually, no. Yeah. Anyway, last year's birthday was kind of fucked. We also had the dog was new. I tried to throw a party. It was chaos. I hated it. But this year, like, woke up, my best friend Jess Brown was in town, so we had breakfast. Oh, here's something crazy.
Yeah.
We ordered Caesars.
Oh, boy.
Which is like a Bloody Mary, but you know a Caesar with clam, which I fucking love. It's my favorite. And the waiter guy, the server comes over and he's like, I'm just the owner, but I'm taking orders because like the other guy was slammed. Like, yeah, can I get a Caesar, spicy and like a little bit muddy? And he's like, what's muddy? I'm like, that's more Worcestershire. And he's like, okay. He's like, I'll make it how they make it in my country, which is Belgium.
Yeah.
And he's like, they put like a little bit of triple sec and a bit of sweet vermouth. And we went, huh?
I thought he was joking.
I thought he was joking. And
Yeah.
he's like, no, it's really good. And he's like, I'll make it for you. And if you don't like it, I'll bring you something else. And we're like, and he's like, you know what? I'll put it on the side. And if you want to put it in, you can. I'm like, okay. So then he brings them. It is not on the side. It's in it. He's like, let me know. We take a first sip and we're like, okay, this is fine. Second sip, you're like, oh no. Third sip, you're like, this is poison.
Once the Clamato and the orange liqueur team up in the straw together and shoot into you, it tasted like a sink that just washed a bunch of old fucking dessert plates.
Yeah.
And also dinner. Like, it was terrible.
There's this orange like wood polish. It's like a furniture polish.
I know
and I
it.
always thought it smelled kind of nice.
Yeah.
But that's what it tasted like. But with like this briny clam undertone.
Yeah. It was just a nightmare.
So
And-
we all went, hello. No, thank you.
Yeah, but he was so understanding. He was like, "Yeah, I don't know why I did that." Okay, and like it's like you're trying to pass one off on us.
And then
like,
the server finally came over and we told him. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, I'm so sorry. He's like, I'll make another one. I'm like, I'll just have a mimosa, please. I'm like, I can't even do this. Anyway, but then my my best friend Jess brought me up for manis and pedis, and I haven't had a manicure and pedicure in so long. And then we went out to a tapas place called Bar Isabel.
yes,
I fucking love tapas.
It's fantastic. When you get the tasting menu, when it's just like
We end up getting a tasting menu where they just
just
bring
bring it
you
out.
They say, do you have any allergies?
You're at the whim of the kitchen.
And do you have anything you don't like? So there was 4 of us, my other best friend Diana and my good friend Sarah Boback and Matt and the gals, and they brought us out all sorts of stuff like octopus and fucking ceviche,
like a foamed foie gras.
oh my god, it was this foie gras that it was like that they froze but then grated on top of this crostini that had something else on it. Holy fucking shit. They brought me out a free cake. We had champagne. We had this delicious natural wine. God damn, it was just the fucking nicest. And then we went to this bar called Bar Pompette, and we all also have you ever had a paper plane? Anybody? Matt?
Are you asking me?
I mean,
No,
I'm
you
asking
ordered
people
one,
at
but
home.
What was it?
So someone described it. They're like, it's literally like it's kind of a Long Island iced tea situation, but with different liqueurs. And it ends up tasting like
Paper.
orangey kind of, it tastes like orange, but there's no orange in there.
Interesting.
And they're like, it doesn't taste like alcohol at all, but it gets you fucked up. And I had like one sip of it. I'm like, a dude.
Go.
It was delicious. And then this Claire Stollery, who's Claire Cavallero now.
Oh yeah.
Who's an actor, a producer, a director, a lovely. She just happened to be there at the bar with a different friend, Jen. And then she sent over a bottle of bubbly.
Lovely.
Which is such a fucking power move, and I love it. And it's just
powerful man.
goddamn. It was a really fucking lovely way. Especially, it was one of those days that like I didn't expect a big grand birthday because I'm like, oh, I'm in Toronto and whatever. But it ended up being so perfect and spending time with friends I hadn't spent with so long. To the point, it was so nice that I had drinks planned on the 20th with like LA friends that I just fucking canceled it because I'm like,
it was too nice.
You know what? It was nice. Let's leave it at that. I don't want to be too greedy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, Flambeau.
I'm phlegmy. It's the morning.
Flambeau. My fuzzy is similar. Shangela's barking at something outside. She's on patrol. You can't. Here's the thing. She's looking out the window. She's wearing space pajamas.
Yeah.
With space patterns on them. Shange. Okay, back from a short break where Shangela was going crazy, barking at something outside. I don't know if you heard that, listener, but what was I talking about? We were talking about...
You're warm and fuzzy?
My warm and fuzzy. Not the dog barking. Little shit. But when we were in Toronto, we went to St. Lawrence Market, which is this giant, beautiful market downtown. You can get anything. You can get meats. You can get baked goods. You can get anything in there.
It's the fucking best, and I forgot
best.
how much I liked it.
We went there in the morning on one of our last mornings there, and we got a P-mail bacon sandwich.
From the Big Oink? What's it called?
It was called Paddington's, home of the Big Oink.
Right.
I don't know what any of that means.
I don't know. And it's Paddington. It's like a
Paddington Bear.
Paddington Bear. Yeah.
Copyright. He's never... does he eat P-mail bacon?
Nobody might.
He likes
he likes sugar and sweets, doesn't he?
Oh my God, what is it? Marmalade.
Marmalade, yeah.
That's what he likes. And so even in the picture, he's eating marmalade and not the bacon sandwich. And what is the oink? Anyway, so we get it.
What is the oink?
I would never run a mile for female bacon sandwich. Also, growing up, I used to call it female bacon sandwich, and I thought it was lady pigs. So.
Okay. Female?
Female. My parents would always be like, do you want just a female bacon sandwich? I'm like, why do I want a female bacon sandwich?
So you thought man bacon was the strips and lady bacon was like the coins? Wow, the coins.
Either way, I felt bad and it felt weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you gendering my bacon? So we get this female bacon sandwich, and it's beautiful. It's so fucking good. It got little toppings. What did I get? Mustard mayo, banana peppers,
tomatoes.
We're sitting there, and there's these giant, beautiful windows in St. Lawrence Market too. That like
it's a covered market.
It looks covered market. Yeah. And so you're inside, and we're eating this bacon sandwich, and I look over at one of the big windows, and I start to see snow. It's like aggressively snowing.
Like these big chunky flakes.
Big chunky flakes. And I'm just looking around, and we're eating this bacon sandwich, and everyone's just kind of cozy in this market. And I was like, oh, this is nice. I literally in my head, I was like, I feel warm and fuzzy.
Yes.
Because
when it's cold outside and you're warm inside, it's just, because my friend, I was staying with my friend Jess for the last 2 nights, or we were, and she lives like literally a 2-minute walk from it.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I lived by this market,
I'd be in the market all the time.
and she is, or she was when she was living there. Like, oh my God, I would just go every day and get the ingredients for my meal. Like, and then we kind of walked around after, just to get some stuff back for the apartment. And we got like a baguette from the bakery, and then we got some pate from this person and some cheese curds from that person, and then some fresh berries. And it was just like,
I like a market because your only goal is to survive. That's the goal with a market, is to
That's
survive and eat.
a common
that's it.
theme between you and I. It's just like, I like it when you have one goal.
Yes.
I feel like this career we've chosen is the exact opposite, where it's like there's always so many moving parts.
But that's why I like
Yeah.
a situation like that. Yeah, because the world of entertainment is so everywhere and unpredictable, where when you're in a very simple scenario like that, it's very like, yeah, you're in a market, you're like, I'm going to buy market things. I'm going to eat a market meal.
I love a market.
It's beautiful. And then even that picture of Paddington Bear, as crudely as it was drawn, I was like, I do like Paddington. It made me feel nice.
It's nice. But it's almost overwhelming to the point where it's like, because there was so much I wanted. There was like a Ukrainian place with like pierogies, and then
Yeah.
there's like a fish place that's serving like, I'm like, do I want to make lobster tails tonight?
I know. I do want to like eat and barf and then keep eating. Like I want to do what the old kings and queens of yore did,
I
where they
know.
barf in a bucket and they're like, bring me more.
Bring me more.
That's me in the market. I'm going to walk around with a bucket and barf and eat, and everyone's going to appreciate me. Also, there was one female bacon place, because there was multiple, that had a bunch of headshots of celebrities out of like eating
Yeah.
there. What? I don't understand how this headshot thing works. Because like, there's laundromats in LA where they're covered in headshots and signed headshots. Is a celebrity walking in with the headshot? Are they recognizing celebrity? They have a stack of headshots and they're like, oh my God,
Or they're
Mario
like, next
Lopez.
time you come in, you bring a signed headshot, free laundry for life. I don't know.
Maybe. But it's like
don't
there was
get it.
one, like there was like an Anthony Bourdain one. There was like a bunch of like just random celebrity. I think there was a Julia Roberts at this, like, I can't picture her eating female bacon.
I can't picture her eating a sloppy female bacon sandwich at St. Lawrence
It
Market.
didn't make any sense.
But then again, we're all human.
Either way, I want my headshot in some sort of obscure fucking store somewhere. If you run a store, listener, and you have room for headshots, we will send you signed headshots.
I want that so badly. There's a place in Santa Monica, that Mexican restaurant, the Gilbert's
El Indio.
El Indio Mexican restaurant. They
Yeah.
have headshots everywhere. And
But
next
they're
time we
like,
go,
they're headshots and also Polaroids too. It's like they got excited to see some people and they took Polaroids.
I want to go with a headshot next time and just sort of paste it.
Like, is the server going to ask for your credits? Be like, hi, it is me.
But also, there's no new headshots. That's the thing. They're
Yeah.
all old. So I'm going to have to find like maybe one of my old black and white ones.
We should get old headshots for that reason. We should get old black and white headshots, dressed in like early 90s clothing. And then if
Yeah,
we
yeah,
walked
yeah.
in and placed it on the wall, they would be like, this has
This has
probably
been there
already
forever.
been here. Yeah. That's a good idea. It's a fantastic idea. What was I going to talk about? Female bacon.
Female bacon, warm and fuzzy.
Warm and fuzzy. That was it. Just being inside during snow makes you feel so fucking nice.
It truly does.
But also on the yin to that yang is I was like, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. I just want to be fat and stink and just be warm.
And that's what happened. We had grand plans for our last day in Toronto, including a show that was at 9:30 p.m. despite our early ass flight the next day. And I think the whole week just finally caught up to us and we're like, fuck it. So we canceled everything.
Canceled everything and we just watched Below Deck and stared at the snow.
And then we ended up we were like, we don't have dinner. So then we ventured out like a 2-minute walk to the Keg and ordered French onion soup at the bar, and it was the best.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It did make me feel nice. Speaking of the opposite of nice, there was definitely some dumb things that happened this week. I'm sure even, dare I say, stupid things in a segment that we like to call, oh, well, that was stupid. Well,
that was stupid. Time for, well, that was stupid. I feel like a lot of
You
like,
just reintroduced it.
I know.
All of that preamble I did. Thread the needle. I really massaged the people into the segment, and then you
I like saying
hit
it.
it like a radio DJ that wasn't on air.
Well, that was kind of stupid that I did that.
Yes, it was.
And then we all had a nice laugh about it. Oh, the dog is so fucking cute right now. I'm going to gouge my eyes out.
Why do we want to gouge our own eyes out when the dog is so cute? Because we can't handle it?
And I don't deserve to look at this.
Yeah. There's two things that happen when the dog's being cute. I want to squish its head like a grape and
Yeah.
pop it
Oh.
and then gouge my eyes out.
Yeah.
That's how cute the dog is.
Because you want to create a
Danger.
danger so you can protect it. Anyway, it's pretty stupid. But one of the biggest stupid things that stood out to me is the fucking traffic in Toronto. People complain about traffic in LA, but boy,
Might be worse. I would say that, but I was in an hour and 40-minute traffic last night, and it was crazy.
yeah, that's true. No, it definitely is worse in LA, but I just feel like Toronto's making some questionable moves with shutting certain lanes. And anyway,
We were staying in this apartment that was overlooking a lot of like main highways, and so it's funny because I'm like, should I work for the news? I have an insider glimpse of what's going on with traffic, and it looked crazy from above.
apparently they shut down some lanes and put like bike lanes up, which now it doesn't make sense because it's fucking winter. But it funnels all the traffic through these little side streets because that's the only way you can kind of get onto the Gardner, which is like sort of one of the main freeways.
Oh yeah.
And between like 4 and 7, it's just a symphony of honks.
Yep.
It's madness. Anyway, so well, that was stupid. So we fly home. We take a treacherous Uber to the airport. It was pretty. Nothing had been plowed yet because it was so early in the morning.
Oh, we fly. Okay.
So we fly back to LA.
We were on our way to the airport in Toronto.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah, sorry.
You skipped.
I know.
Sound like we flew home and then took a treacherous Uber. No, we took a treacherous Uber to the airport because it was snowing like crazy. Here's the thing with driving in snow is this Uber driver, yes, he was in an SUV, but the passing lane, especially in Toronto, is always the snowiest.
Yeah.
Because no one uses it. So in scenarios like that, the middle lanes are usually the most clear.
Yeah.
And he was plowing through that passing lane. Like it sounded like a fucking pirate ship going through like high tide.
And I'm like, man, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
And then trucks would pass us, and the amount of spray. I'm like,
That's the most exciting part about driving in the winter in
God.
Canada is, giant truck passes, and then you're just in complete darkness.
It's-
And you're like, I assume I'll be fine in a few seconds.
it was quite terrifying. Maybe let's do your well that was stupid first because it leads up to the next part.
I see.
Okay, so we all know this because it was literally said on the news that Pearson was voted the worst airport like in the
Yes.
world.
So we have to get up at 4:30 a.m. Eastern time, and we get to the airport finally. We're exhausted. Everyone's exhausted. It's 5 a.m. at the airport, and we're going to our gates. And there's
So before you go through security,
and this, I don't remember the last time this happened. There's two women standing there, and they're like, "Oh, you got to put your checked or your carry-on in the fucking wire torture device that makes sure it's not too big." And we're like, she's like, mine was fine.
Yeah.
But then she's like, "Oh, your wife has to try it out." I'm like, this never happens. And
I'm
I
like,
literally was like, we've been traveling hundreds of times, and this has always fit.
yeah,
It always
fits in the overhead. I never even have to like stuff it in there. I never have to fucking finagle it.
No.
it always fits.
It's a beautiful fit.
And I've also had this for 10 years, and it's TSA approved.
Yeah, and she's like, "Well, it's been expanded," and I'm
Which-
like, "There's
which-
no zipper to expand."
That had not been
Had
expanded.
not been expanded. So I'm already in, and I'm looking back at you struggling to cram it in this ancient torture device that's not even the right shape of the overhead compartment in any capacity.
It looks like it would fit like a thin briefcase.
Yes, a thin briefcase, and like even when we got on the plane and we put your thing in, because we struggled to get it in. I came out and I smashed it in there.
And then she's like, I get it in one way, but it's the wrong way. And she's like, you wouldn't put it in the overhead that way. And I'm like, actually, I would because
Yeah.
that's how it goes in.
And then so obviously, listen, I overreacted. Sure. Did people deserve it? Absolutely.
You went full Marin.
I went full Matt
It should be
Karen.
Marin because apparently Mark Marin likes to lose his fucking.
See, there you go. I went
Temper?
full Mark Maron in the airport.
But full Karen, Marin.
So
yeah.
I was like
Man
fed up.
Karen.
I'm tired. I'm annoyed. I get out. I rip it out of the thing. But here's the thing. I go to rip the bag out and the whole fucking metal device levitates
Yeah.
and clink, clink, clink. And she's like, sir, calm down. I'm like, no, if this is what you want. And then is this what you want? And so I flip it around and I smash it in there. And then I'm hitting it. And I hear her talk to the other woman. And she's like, just let him do it. Just let him do it.
And then she looked and we're like, it fits. And she goes, okay, fine.
Yeah, and then
Like-
I rip it out, and then I run away. I'm like this. Oh, this never happened. And she's trying to say something to me. She's giving me more attitude, and I'm like, hey, and thanks for the fucking attitude, by the way. And then she tried to say something else, and I'm like, oh my god, who am I?
And then she said, and thanks for the language or something.
Yeah, which you said you're like when you're dealing with people like do not swear, but I stand by it. The scenario was stupid. The time of day was stupid for that. It's early morning. Everyone's tired. No one wants to shove a bag in a fucking unfinished fucking bunch of tent poles.
I want to message Air Canada and just be like, look, you got to update the sizes of these things because they don't correlate with the actual plane things
In any capacity.
in any way, shape, or form. And I know this employee is just trying to do her job.
Yeah.
But come on, man.
This was my justification for freaking out too and using the language. So I said, thanks for the fucking attitude, right? See, Shan's just getting worked up about this. As I was saying, we paused again because the dog was going crazy. My justification for freaking out was that hopefully when they're in the break room talking about this whole scenario, they're like, oh my God, people were really upset when we made them cram their bags in that thing. And the supervisor's going to be like, how did the bag cramming
How'd the bag cramming go?
did it go well? The bag cramming at 5 a.m. Did they like it? They're gonna be like, no. It turns out they didn't like it. Especially one guy who said thanks for the fucking attitude to me, and I didn't like that. And they're going, oh, maybe we shouldn't do this then.
I understand, like, if it's because I've seen some people and I'm like, that bag is not an overhead bag, trying to get away with it. And then you see them trying to cram it in the overhead and they're like, oh. I'm like, in no way, shape, or form has that ever fit.
Ever.
But when I tell you my bag has always fit, no problem. And then, by the way, when we finally get to the gate, they're like, it's an oversold flight. If anybody wants to volunteer their bags to be checked because they will not fit. And I was in zone 5 and I'm like, maybe I should volunteer my bag if I'm going to have to anyway. And Matt's like,
I said, no, hold the line. Red Rover, do not call bags over.
And lo and behold, we get on the plane. There has never been more room in the overhead department.
I could have slept comfortably
I
in
was
the
just
overhead
gonna say.
above. Yes.
We both would have had more room in the overheads than we would in our shitty fucking seats.
That should be an option on planes. If there's enough room up there, be like, can I cram a pillow up there and sleep?
Oh my God, just tuck me up.
Tuck me up.
Oh God, that'd
Tuck
be
me up tonight. I've seen that on many flights lately. I don't know why that's happening more, where they're like, we have no room, and then you get in and there's more room than you've ever seen in your entire life.
Probably because they turned away so many people because their fucking bags wouldn't fit in the torture device.
Yeah, it's travel's bad. That was bad.
And when I said there was so much room on all sides of my bag, like, that's why they need to update. I think these like metal devices were created when like planes were created.
Yeah,
they didn't have as much space.
They were around when Frank Sinatra was bipping and bopping from Hawaii to Vegas on those old planes where the seats were huge and everyone was eating roast beef dinners.
Yeah.
They
Frank
literally
Sinatra's
like
eating his lobster, but he's like, there could be a little bit more overhead space.
yeah. Oh boy, my trumpet couldn't fit up. Did he play the trumpet?
Sinatra.
He looks like he would play the trumpet.
I feel like all those crooners played some sort of brass instrument.
I'm sure someone walked up to Frank Sinatra and they're like, "Here is your trumpet." And he's, I don't play that. You sure?
Sure about
Sure,
that? Yeah, sure
you
about
sure
that,
about
old
the
blue eyes?
Okay. All right. Well, the trumpets are here if you need it. If you got a hankering.
And then he just fucks the trumpet.
He just
And then
he's just in the green room with the trumpet. Well, I better fuck this.
It looks like a dame.
Ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba.
It's a dame that doesn't speak back, and then he fucks it, and it's like, "Brow," and then he strikes it because he hit women, and he's not a good man.
Did he? I thought it was the other guy.
They all did.
I don't know if they all did.
Sinatra had quite the temper.
What was the one that acted drunk but he wasn't drunk?
Oh,
Dean Martin? I think it was Dean Martin.
Yeah.
There was-
Well, mister, I like a big piece of pie. I'm fucking drunk.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild though? That they're like, oh my god, if he was sober, they'd be like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
But he had to act drunk to like please
Well, it's
the
like
people.
Alex Trebek would always. Everybody's like, "Oh, he must drink a lot," because everybody like would be like, "What's your favorite pastime?" He's like, "Drinking." What do you do after the show? Drink whiskey. And
Yeah.
apparently, he didn't drink a lot.
No, he didn't. He just said that. He just said that to be cool.
Yeah.
Cool to like booze.
Yeah.
That's the world we live in.
All right. So that was It was very stupid. And then we got on the plane. Also, we are like 3 rows from the back, and it's one of those big planes where it's 3, 3, and 3. and we're in the middle chunk, and I'm in the middle chunk, which is fine.
The middle.
The middle. I didn't care. Whatever. It's a plane. I'm going to get home. But there's no more mask mandates on planes.
Yep.
And fine.
Do what you
want. But at the fucking very least, if you have any inkling, oh, maybe a little bit of a sore throat, maybe whatever, wear a fucking mask. Because there were couples all around us. There was this one couple directly beside us sneezing and hacking the entire ride.
The whole time.
Like,
and blowing her nose aggressively. Enough where you're like, I can hear some debris shooting out past the Kleenex.
oh my God.
And also, I didn't tell you this. I saw her tuck the used Kleenex in the back of the seat.
In the seat pocket?
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's why you wipe down everything when you're in a plane. The mask, if you have any symptoms, no pandemic at all, you should be wearing
That's
a
what I'm
mask.
saying. Because at that point, you're literally saying, you're actively trying to get people sick.
Yep.
It's so fucking selfish. I was so mad. Oh my God. I can't handle it. And then I saw Roxanne Gay tweet something like that. She's like, there is a guy who's just been hacking open. She's like, I don't want to tell people how to live their lives, but there's a man just openly hacking, fucking spreading his particles everywhere. And we just have to fucking deal with it.
Yeah. You have no choice.
It's like, I get that, people are sick and tired of wearing masks. And if you feel fucking great and you don't want to, okay, that's your fucking prerogative. Don't wear one, I guess. But if you're actively sick, fucking put on a mask, you selfish piece of shit.
You just got to treat travel like you're like, well, people can do whatever they want. I will do everything I can in my power to stop this from happening.
Yeah.
But you can't control other people at this point. Otherwise, you're going to go crazy thinking
That's
about
the thing. And we were wearing masks, but I'm like, I don't know how protected we are. And I was sanitizing, but I'm just, that's the thing. People who wear masks are over it too. We're all fucking over it.
Also, a lot of these people have like real jobs where they're like, fuck it. If I get sick, I got sick days. I'll be fine. And I'm like, guess who doesn't have sick days? Self-employed fucking actor comedians. We just literally lose the work.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't happen. So fuck that.
And also, it's crazy that there were so many like old ass people on this flight just like not wearing masks. I'm like, how are you not worried?
Also,
That's all.
I find it interesting that we didn't talk. I mean, we're at the end of the podcast here, but the main enormous stupid thing that's happened, and it happened last night especially, is that Twitter is like dead.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm trying to figure out how I feel about that, because I have been tied to it for over a decade.
It's bittersweet because sometimes I'm like, this place sucks and it's mean and whatever. But at the same time, it did really connect a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it would kind of break stories in real time. I don't know.
It's hard to figure out how to feel about it. It's something's going to replace it. And we had this thought yesterday. I'm like, fuck, I'll just go on Instagram then. I'm like, if Instagram introduced some sort of text thread.
Yeah. So if you
something-
click on Reels and you see your Reels, you click on like text thread.
Something
They'll call
like
it
a
something.
tweet. Yeah.
Yeah. They'll call it Insta.
What do you think they're going to call it?
Text.
I don't think they're going to call it Insta something, because they called Reels.
Well, they just call it chat. No, just call it feed or
Reads.
Reads.
I don't know, but I'm like, if that's the only thing Instagram's missing right now, because right now social media is the main popular ones are video.
Yeah.
Which is so much fucking setup, whereas Twitter is just so casual. You're like, I think of something stupid, I type it out, and then it's out there.
And that's how people talk to each other. They don't talk to people by like, we're not talking to each other right now by sending each other videos.
Yeah.
Like,
so we're in this weird limbo right now of social media where it's like, I feel like right now it's only the complicated ones are popping off. And there's no casual one.
yeah, we don't want fucking, what did I call it? Master Bun? You remember Master Bun? That bakery?
Bun Master.
Oh.
Bun Master in Ontario. Oh, they made some fine buns.
Yes. Well, I called it Master Bun. A Megalodon. Marco Polo. What the fuck's it called?
Mastodon?
Mastodon.
Yeah, I moved to that and I have no idea what's happening.
No, we need something simple. We need that's what Twitter was. It was point and shoot.
Yeah.
Because listen, that's how my brain works. We talk about simple things. Your one fucking goal with Twitter is just to write a little thing and press send.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no fucking bullshit. I'm sick of all this bullshit. I don't want to fucking put a filter and duet. I don't. I just
want to put a filter on duet.
like I'm just so over it. I'm so talking about where are we at with TikTok? There's a fucking segment for you. Where are we at with TikTok? We're nowhere. I even bailed on my own.
Nowhere.
I bailed on my own fucking project where I was posting 30 in a row. I posted for 2 weeks and then I got off the fucking Twitter train or whatever it's called.
Yeah, you're off the whatever train.
TikTok train because I do need help. I need help with these videos and you're going to help me caption some videos.
There we go.
Well, I was thinking about it yesterday as I was making soup and I was making sauce and I was mending Shangela's toys and I was mopping. I mean, you were off doing
I was working. I was on set.
He was on set working for some stuff. But I'm like, I'm doing all this. I'm working too. And I'm like, and then you were coming home and I was like, where is he? And I had dinner ready and I'm like, when should I light the candles? I'm like, I'm so worried. And you
It
came
was
home.
very cute. I rolled up after being in traffic for an hour and 40 minutes and I'm like, oh, what a day. And I had my coat hangers over my shoulder and I look up and there's just 2 lit candles and a dog in the window. I'm like,
and
what
me
a life.
just like, hello,
What a life.
are you ready for dinner?
So cute.
It was very cute. But then I'm like, you know what? Edit some of my videos.
Yeah, I will. Of course I will. And of course I will enjoy the rest of my day as I hope you as well.
Yeah, I kind of like this morning podcast.
It was okay. My voice feels off. I don't feel fully there. Maybe we'll do it again sometime. But either way, I got to post this immediately because we are late. I'm late. Remember that from Austin Powers? When Frau was late? I'm late. We're going to watch all the Austin Powers again.
We try to. They don't. A lot of it doesn't hold up, especially the fat bastard one. Yikes.
We have very different opinions on what is holding up in Austin Powers.
We watched it together and we both went, or maybe I'm thinking about the I like gold.
Oh, the
Is
Gold
that
member. That's Gold member.
But is that the one with
That's
fat
the latest
bastard?
one. No, well, he's in it briefly. He loses weight at the end because, well, he eats a
Spoiler
bunch of
alert.
Subway. And then
Oh,
you're like,
no.
he's like, I did what Jared did. And then you're like, oh, no.
I hate that Jared is like forever in that.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'd remove that.
It's crazy that Subway came back from that.
Yeah, and they're like, now we have rice bowls, which is even more unforgivable than
It's
Jared
terrible.
Fogle.
Let me end on this thought. Well, you mentioned Bun Master, that bun place in Ontario.
Yeah.
There was one in London, Ontario, where I grew up, and we used to go to it all the time, and it was next to a strip club.
Ooh.
So it was this plaza, and the strip club's name was Flesh Gordon. And
What?
right next to it was Bun Master.
Flesh Gordon.
Flesh Gordon.
What does that even mean?
Because there's an old movie called Flash Gordon, which was like an old sci-fi thing, but
That's a bit of a fucking deep cut.
Flesh Gordon.
That's disgusting.
Isn't that terrible? But then I remember seeing it as a kid. I'm like, so people must be confused at which one's the strip club. I mean, it's pretty obvious which one is, but Bun Master is the way better strip club.
Oh my God. We have to open a strip club called Bun Master.
It's just gigantic asses.
Yeah.
Just big, hot asses.
If you could go, oh my God, a strip club that smells like a bakery.
Ooh.
Like, so there's fresh baked breads in the back. So you can just eat a fucking Danish, maybe a nice loaf.
Yeah.
And then watch some big asses. Oh.
What if then all the strippers have different baked good names too? Like Croissant comes out. She's a bit French.
Yeah. Oh my God. And Danish. She's Danish.
Yeah. Hot crossed buns. That's 2 women in a hot tub.
Yeah.
We're opening a bakery / strip club.
Eclair. Oh, coming on the stage is Eclair.
Oh my
She
God.
shoots cream out of her ass.
Yes. Cinnamon bun. She's just sticky.
Or he.
Yeah. They could be dudes and everything.
We're gonna have dudes. We're gonna have ladies. We're gonna have
Everybody's
everybody.
welcome.
Everybody's
Everyone's welcome at Bun Master.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to enjoy next week's episode because we're ending this one right now. Where can they find you online, Julia?
They can find me
Lackwitz?
online at Julia Comedy on Instagram
wow.
and Twitter, but I don't Twitter.
Don't do anything.
Don't do anything. Or Julia Comedian on TikTok. And follow us on Instagram, our podcast, ITWYW Podcast. Oh, wait, that's Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Is This What You Want? Podcast on Instagram.
Certainly.
Jesus Christ. Matt, where can they find you?
Matt O'Brien on Instagram, and that's the only one that matters right now. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Have a great day.
We love you. Bye.
That's what you want with Matt and Julia. Is this what you want with Matt and Julia? Is this what you Sha-la-la-la-la-la.